said, how many people is that? I said, Art, I'm not giving away anything that's chargeable. I know, but I said, Art, I'm not giving away anything that's chargeable. He says, not my business.
Oh, yeah, he was asking, he was worried.
Well, they bought, one time it was 3 of them. I saw 6 new people this time. So they're spreading the word that, oh, Hall of Fame 227, you can eat. The dude down on the field, you know I ain't got no business on the field. I don't have field access. I took that thing down there with that boy. That lady gave me a $25 cash tip too. He was like, well, you stand right here, and I'm going to take you far as I can take you, all right? I got you. I was all the way at the hallway, right past the Cowboys locker room. That's how I got to see the Cowboys cheerleaders locker room and the Cowboys locker room. He took me. I like, you gonna hook me up? I was like, yeah, what you want? Whatever you give me, Ma. I said, whatever you want. Huh?
All right, so.
Pizza hot and ready.
We can eat the pizza. That's why I was saying why we asked the question. I'm hungry too. Y'all both in the video, y'all can share one bite of pizza, right?
He don't really eat pizza. Oh.
I asked before I ordered it with your bald head self.
There's others that still eat
okay.
pizza.
I can eat a slice.
You better eat a slice, so I'm gonna jump across the stage out this pulpit. And you gonna be making a rap song. The pizza bust me in my head, now I'm dead. Pastor bust me in my head, now I'm dead. Bring me mine, the thin crust.
Yeah.
Bring the whole box, please. That small one is mine, Bryce. Just bring the whole box, please. He don't like thin crust, so just hook him up with a couple of pieces of that meat lover, please. Thank you. Anybody like thin crust? If y'all do, you can have a piece of this.
Oh, I like thin crust.
Come on.
A piece of this.
Yeah, that's the one I want.
Lord, we thank you for this food we about to receive in Jesus' name, amen.
I'm being
Bye.
praised.
You don't even like thin
I
crust.
do like thin crust, but I was really just giving you a piece of this.
Well, come on, get you one.
No, so I was giving you a piece of this.
Bryce want a piece of that. Come on.
I'm gonna let you be great.
They ain't put the bacon on there.
They did?
They sure didn't, and I
They did,
asked for
I see
bacon
it.
specifically.
Oh, it's a little bit of bacon there.
Yeah, I put bacon sausage and
I know you didn't have some sausage.
no, not on yours.
I don't
Put
see,
ham on there.
I don't see bacon on mine.
They put ham on this stuff, bacon. So I did the first ones.
Not sure I asked for bacon.
I guess in their mind, it's all the same thing.
Alright, so.
Anybody got a question?
Pass the mic around, so, because we are recording this, so it'd be,
They're not gonna have to work. Oh, it's private?
yeah.
Okay. Well, we won't show this part. I only show
Oh, I'm sorry.
on my page the games and the interviews.
I can change it.
Yeah, make it private. I don't want nobody. Once you blow up, take off. Like, I remember he had asked the question of, is it all right if your wife pop you in the booty hole? Oh.
That's a question.
He's suspect.
No.
How can we keep it? How can we keep it?
Man, you can't do nothing like that.
They do.
Use that.
Good and it be nice.
That bitch kinda good.
And they say, I'm a win.
And then
Never
still
thought of you
mix.
that way, cousin. Never thought of you that way.
You don't.
You know your mama swears she never slapped a dog a day in her
Well, I
life.
just know he's shy, and I just want to see his reaction. That's the real reason. No, I mean,
No, you said because you knew you was gonna win here.
I'm still gonna win. However, that was the reason I said it out loud.
He did like that.
They gotta put it over here, Dad. Why not start with the news?
Right, what you showing? Put it in the middle.
Start with Ashley and Table. And then go to Lynette. We'll start with the new people.
So you got your question?
What stood out this marriage?
What stood out this marriage from the mistaken marriages?
That's a good
The
question.
practice there. Damn.
And, okay.
And what? Go ahead.
Did the mistaken marriages slow you down from getting married again? Or like,
They did me.
okay.
What stood out with this? My first marriage, he was a pedophile. He was 41, I was 14. My mama was a gold digger. He paid her money for me to sign the paper. He had bread. I was pregnant. I didn't know who her daddy was. But he had the most money, so I married him, and that's how it went. That didn't work out. He was murdered. My second marriage, he was a minister. He was also a pedophile. Found out late. Moved all the way to Florida. I didn't know anybody there. Didn't have any friends or family want to come home. God told me no, he had a purpose for me there. So I stayed. After that, I said I was gonna never get married again. So when I met him and he wanted to marry me, I said, not just no, but hell no.
That's exactly what you did.
I'm never gonna get married again. But I like meat. So I said, I need that meat about you, but I don't wanna get married.
So you ain't getting no more meat.
So
What? I did. I said you ain't getting no more meat after marriage.
Until marriage.
So she proceeded to steal meat.
With a butter knife, y'all.
You kill somebody with a butter knife. You kill somebody with a fork.
So, as far as I'm concerned, when I first got married, I had people to tell me, don't do it. Don't do it. She ain't ready for marriage. And she already had kids, but by that time, she had already sucked me in. And how she got me over, how she won me was, she and I were supposed to be a one-night stand for each other. That was our mind. That was how it was supposed to be for both of us. And, I got off work. I worked down the street from her house, about a 15-minute walk from her house. I worked down the street from her house, and I just felt led to go to her house. I went over to her house, just to talk to her, not to do anything else. Next thing I know, she comes out the kitchen with a plate, fried chicken, cornbread, rice, on a plate. I didn't ask for it. I wasn't planning on eating there. I didn't ask for it. Then she goes back in the kitchen, come back out with a big old cup of Kool-Aid with ice in it. Now, so
Not the ice.
yes, the ice. Yes, the ice.
What
So
color Kool-Aid you saying?
red.
I bet.
It's no red.
Gotcha.
Got you, bro.
She got it. And see, Taylor, you know my problem. You know what it was. She got me with the red Kool-Aid, cornbread, and the fried chicken. And this is what the fried chicken looked like, the fried chicken you see on the magazine. She had it looking good. And so that's what got me. It wasn't the sex, it wasn't anything else. It was the fact that she thought about me. And I had dated other women who didn't think about me. Now, the problem was I made the mistake was with her was I assumed that she wanted better for her life. And the fact of the matter was she didn't. When I met her, she was living in the projects. I went in, we were kind of bouncing everywhere, and I should have known better. I should have paid attention to the signs and the warning flags, and I didn't. So it's me. I assumed that this was an individual that wanted to be out of the hood, out of the projects. Where when, during our 8 years of marriage, she kept going back to the hood and to the projects. And so, and so she was about that life and I wasn't. And then after a while, you know, she started leaving me. And then I went into the military. I joined the military, joined the Marine Corps. And several times she left me when I was in the Corps. And then when I got out of the Corps, she kicked me out of the house twice. So you realize that you were with somebody who didn't really want a husband-wife dynamic.
And
Yeah, okay.
she's my age, never owned a home, still renting in an apartment. She married some other dude,
Mindset. The big thing is mindset. Her mindset
never owned a business.
was not, it was not where my mindset was. That's why I'm a firm believer when I hear people say, be not unequally yoked with unbelievers. You'll hear preachers preach that, and they talk about religion, but that's only one aspect. What do you believe financially? What are you aspiring to?
Right.
Do you really want to live in a house, or are you comfortable living in the projects in the hood? Because those are the types of things and questions you need to ask.
Our broken marriages taught us a lot. In those marriages, like our marriage counseling guy and all the books that I've written and the books that he's written and things like that, it's all based on those experiences. And I remember my daughter wrote, when she published her first book, and I was reading, no, your first book, so you finally decided to start dating. That was not.
That was third.
That was the third book.
What was the first one?
So you finally decided to
Do things God's
do
way.
things God's way.
Then so you finally decided to join the ministry, and then so you finally decided to start dating God's way.
Reading those books, her life experiences are tied to my life experiences from a different perspective, and it taught me something. So here's a thing that I need all of y'all to get, those that are connected to us, those that are submitted to our teaching, and all of that. Mediocrity is unacceptable. There are certain things that you have to accomplish to be successful. You don't have to have a lot of money, you don't have to buy a house, you don't have to own a business, but you do have to leave a legacy. And I realize that most black people, we haven't learned how to leave legacy. We haven't learned or mastered the importance. Like my mom died and I have nothing.
Right.
I don't have books that she wrote. I don't have videos that she made, or I don't have anything left of her to share with my grandchildren.
Right.
They met her once or twice, and so she left no legacy.
Right.
She didn't leave any money. There was no generational wealth generated. And so we have to teach those connected to us how to do those things. Right. My video library is over 4,000.
Right.
I'm releasing my faith to be able to publish at least 50 books before I leave this earth. But if I die tomorrow, there is enough of my teaching, my personality, my everything about me for my grandchildren and their children to know who their nana is. Right. Does that make sense? Right. Legacy is more than just money and wealth. It's your pedigree.
That's so good.
It is. And so I talk a lot about my life experiences. So number one, they don't make the same mistakes. And I, those teaching, those boot camps and all that stuff, even though it's not out public, the different ones around me have access to them. So if I die tomorrow, they can make money because I'll be worth more dead than I am alive right now. So they can make money off stuff that other people don't have access to.
You worth more dead than you are alive.
I am, because of the treasures that I've stored up in the earth to purposely leave my legacy.
That's good.
And I'm going to benefit you guys more financially.
That's good.
Because if we die together, our kids will they will have to figure out what to do with almost $1 million. Because I don't want them to have to struggle like we did. My mom died, and the little bit of money that was left, my sisters robbed me for it. I get $1. No, I don't want that. It's important as a married couple, if you love your kids, you leave a legacy. I'm not talking about a little funky $100,000 insurance policy, because you can blow through $100,000 just like that. Right? We have anywhere between $250,000 and $350,000 a year that comes through our hands. When we die, that money we have to have something to show for that. I don't want my kids struggling, working. They both own their own businesses. They both work with us at the stadium. They both have things that they do to support their family, for lack of a better term. But you know what else they do? And I'm riding them because they don't have enough videos and teachings and books and all that other stuff for generations to come. If I die tomorrow, Martin Luther King's been dead how many years? 50? 40 years? But he's still saying, I have a dream, because he left a legacy.
Right?
You can Google it. We were preaching Saturday morning, because it was on Zoom or something. People from all around the country were listening. Guess what? While we were teaching, we got to the questions and answers. The lady says, are you the same people on Google for who made that love song
for
CD?
married couples?
We're like, yeah.
2015. Old CD.
His first one, he made it in our closet. If you listen to the quality, you can tell. And a dollar store earbud mic thing. But we have a legacy.
Right.
It's not crisp. It's not clean. But that's going to be there as long as the internet exists.
Right.
So yeah, we've published books, and yeah, we've published CDs, and yeah, we've done boot camps and teachings and trainings, and yeah, we've pastored ministries, and yeah, we have schools, and we've done all this stuff. So every element touches a different person's life. So as marriage counselors, we counsel maybe about 200-300 couples.
I would say another thing we picked up from our marriages was we didn't come into this marriage thinking that we were perfect.
We both knew we were raggedy. That's why y'all that are close to us, you don't get beat up because you don't have your stuff together because you're raggedy or whatever else. I know you probably didn't expect us to play your cussing CD in the church. Here is my perspective on anything that God can see, Lynn can see.
Right.
You would never, young man, ever do as much as I did when I was out there. When I was doing that thing in a circle, I was doing a lot of things that were strange for a little piece of change. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed either. Does that make sense? So, and I protect my babies. So when people come and judge it, she's supposed to be a woman of God. She is a woman of God.
And plus, I grew up on hip hop too, so I don't
judge these nuts.
I don't judge the young men. I try to give advice and consult. Like I was telling you, you might want to be careful what you're putting out now, bro, because they're coming after them, all of them.
That's where that was coming from, not from a religious perspective, because I believe nobody's really going to change until God does it.
Right.
I don't even let preachers come in our pulpit that's going to embarrass people about how they live and what they got going on. We lived together before we got married.
Sure did.
And we were both saved, and we had both been preachers. Stuff happened, stuff happens.
We had sex out of wedlock.
We had sex outside of wedlock. All of that happened.
Yeah.
So we can't judge me. I just know the consequences that come with it. That's why I encourage people not to do it. It costs us so much.
This morning, but
Ashley came to church today, so she heard our testimony.
Our one regret.
That's my only regret about marrying him.
That's the only regret.
That we took that route. Because when you do that, like I said, I was so jealous and insecure. And I was like, why?
It was just so much we went through. We
Yeah.
Homelessness.
You think everybody getting some? You got some, and she gave it to me, and I ain't even have to marry to get it. The next man don't need it.
She thought I was gonna get got by a 67-year-old woman in a wheelchair. And
Grandma wanted to slap the knob. Why you gotta pull your dentures out every time you come around my man? Lynette, how'd you feel if she pulling out her dentures every time she come around Vernon? Grandma up to no good, right? Thank you.
Did such a thing. She did.
Every time she was talking to him.
Every time
she'll have her teeth on in church. When church over, when she want him to push her home in the wheelchair, her teeth suddenly missing.
She had never done that. This woman was so.
It's not the truth. That's Grandma.
Overwhelmed with jealousy. She was so overwhelmed with jealousy. She was hallucinating things. That lady took her teeth. Lynn, that lady didn't take her teeth out. That lady, I don't don't see
She looked like a Muppet every time she asked him to take her.
the girls.
Yeah,
Is
my
this
grandma.
the same lady that told you to help move something out her house in the one?
That was another church mother. That was Mother Karen White from Trinity.
Nah, that
She
was,
wasn't no mother.
He said back and
she looked like,
Karen White was not a mother.
She
Y'all was
looked
around
like
the same age.
she,
That lady got to be older than me. You lying.
No.
she looked like one.
You lying.
She looked like one.
She not like
Go ahead. You got another question?
Yeah, I have two. good
Well,
questions.
get it, motivate.
So, one of them is, so this is
Oh,
his,
she wrote it down. Okay.
this his first relationship, and how he want to know how can he express his feelings without me feeling a certain type of way.
Meaning what?
Open up to me.
Oh, that's a
Without you feeling like a certain
Because
type
this is
of-
his first relationship, but it's not my first relationship. So
Okay.
sometimes I feel left out.
Like he won't let you in. You want to know what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. You ready? You still gonna love me after I give you the truth? You promise? Cause you know you're my heartbeat, right? The only way men shut down like that is because you react the wrong way when an ugly or an uncomfortable truth comes. That means, man, I can't tell you that I just saw 4 butt-naked hoes and I was hard as a rock and I really was feeling one of them, but I just came on and decided to be faithful with you because you gonna be tripping. Why was you looking at the hoes? What was you doing over there anyway? And the next thing you know, it's a whole issue. So
Why is
rather,
they butt naked? Like those are questions.
so rather than go through that with you, I just won't talk to you about it. Does that make sense? That's the first thing.
And just to address this issue, there are some women, Alina, that will intentionally put you in
One guy
situations,
naked in front of him.
put you in situations where it's hard to escape. And if you're
Are
not
you
aware,
stronger than these women?
it has nothing to do with strength, baby.
No.
It has everything to do with intent. I've had so many situations. I can name 4 that I've had in my life where women have gotten naked before me and said you can have it.
Oh wow.
And
Only difference in me and them, because he wouldn't give it to me easily either. First time we got together, I took it. Like he ran in the bathroom and locked the bathroom door in my house, so I kicked the door down. Like,
you gonna give me that?
yeah.
Did you really kick the? Wow.
Yes.
She lied.
She played club.
I'm not making it up. Here's the deal. I didn't want him. I wasn't attracted to him. Truth is, the ex-wife told me he wasn't working with nothing, couldn't do nothing, whatever. And I hadn't had nothing in a while. And I seen that meat. And I was like, you finna give me that meat. And so, like, this is why I need to be married, right?
Yeah.
I can't speak for she. I don't know about you. I know you have been raped before because you were married to my daughter. So you, she,
They get strong.
they get strong. And so it comes with the price. But back to what you were saying.
Not they get strong.
Listen,
I
so
needed it
seriously,
in my life.
the first time it ever happened to me, I was DJing at a high school, at a junior high.
Was that the white girl?
prom. Yeah, white girl. She was like, I need to talk to you. I'm thinking, okay, is this a problem? What's going on? What's happening? She said, very important. So she went outside. I went outside. I said, what's going on? What's happening? And next thing I know, she starts getting undressed
I want you.
and said, I want you
I'll
to
do
take my
anything you
virginity.
want me to do.
Oh, 9 yards. I said, first of all,
He wasn't married.
I wasn't married. I
She was trying to
single.
give him her virginity.
She was gonna give me her virginity. I said, first of all,
What?
I'm 18, you 14. I'm not going to jail.
Going to jail now.
I ain't going to jail.
Jail,
No
baby.
jailbait. Jailbait. Put your clothes back on. Get on the side.
He didn't knock her down. But Ashley,
But I've had
you gotta
plenty of situations.
check your emotions.
Yeah.
Men need a very safe place to open up. Now, I worked hard to make sure that
Yeah.
he can talk to me about anything and I don't overreact externally.
I'm about to say.
Now, here's the other thing too.
About to pop
There you
on
go.
the inside.
Here's the other thing too. You can't be doing nothing crazy to make her question your intent.
That's good.
Or
You
what's
better not
on
be
your
around no
heart.
butt naked hoes. I'm gonna bust you in your face. And it's Jesus.
You hear what I'm saying? You can't be doing nothing crazy. I understand you try to build a rap career and everything. If you gonna build it with her around. If you gonna put it up and erect it, do it with her around. Because the bottom line is, when she ain't there, the stuff running in her head.
Yeah.
But when she's there, she can actually see the intent of some of these women, and she can kind of help you manage that to where you can still interact with your fans, but in the same breath, you ain't doing nothing crazy that could put things hard between the two of you.
And
You
I wanna-
understand? But you, bruh, you can't be cheesing too hard with these girls. You know, you gotta learn, for real. I'm telling you how to manage. Cause see,
But how
I see
can he be successful as a rapper
without doing
if
it.
he doesn't?
That's what I'm saying. I see it all the time on these shows where, especially the Love and Hip Hop and all of them, I see it all the time where these young men, they get up there, they building their rap careers, and they don't understand this is a career. Okay, so you got to manage what you do with your career and your interaction with your fan base. So there needs to be a set limited time. Okay, we're gonna do pictures. All right, we doing 2 pictures. That's it. Boom, boom. Let's boom, boom. Smile with them. Good job, right? Okay, fine. Okay, next. All right, let's get them off. Cause see, it can't be too much interaction.
Okay,
Go ahead.
and here's the last thing that I want to say. Okay, first of all, can you admit that you may overreact sometimes when it's crazy? Okay, so you know I'm not far-fetched in what I'm telling you. So now the next thing to do, of course not in this setting, is to find out what his ideal response is. Because when people are insecure in a relationship, son, that where there's smoke, there's usually fire. You might not be cheating on her, but you have some questionable behavior that's triggering the insecurity.
Right.
And that's the point that you've got to pinpoint and eliminate.
Right.
For example, I'm friends with all my exes in Florida. I'm friends with none of my exes in Texas.
Right.
And the reason, because he knows and he's cool with all my exes, because he worked for me for 1.5 years before we became a couple.
Right.
So he's cool with them, they're cool with him. We all spend time together, talk, hang out, or whatever. In Texas, he doesn't know them. He's met maybe 5 or 7 because I had a bunch. But that's it, hi and bye. I say a good day. And I don't talk to him, I don't text him, I don't hang out. We not cool, I don't chill, none of that. When I go home, all of my exes, any of them, I'll see one of my exes, I'm like, hey, we're going to Cracker Barrel, or we're going so-and-so to chop it up, to catch up, to find out what's going on. He'll be on FaceTime, hey man, what's going on? Because they're friends too. I don't have guy friends that he's not friends with.
She's very accountable, and that's the other thing. Accountability kills a lot of that mistrust. And you may have to do that, Table. You may have to say, hey, babe, we just got done in the studio. I'm heading over to Boom Boom House.
I don't have any man that he's uncomfortable with. We're done.
Mm-hmm.
Good day, sir. But you cool. I like you. I get it. I'm in covenant right here.
This is mine.
And the minute he says we're done,
We're done.
we're done. Good day.
Bruh,
You do that, you build a fence of security
right.
around the relationship. And I want you to know that's not easy for me, because I am absolutely a social butterfly. I meet no strangers. He's an extreme introvert. He never has to have anybody other than Lynn.
Nope.
I have to have everybody that I care about.
Yep.
See the difference?
And so I
So
understand.
if it's somebody
what
I
she
care
is.
about and he says cut it, it's like the death of a loved one to me. But I'm gonna cut it.
I
You're gonna get the
understand
help
who
over
she
there,
is.
you're not gonna mess this up.
I understand who she is as an individual, so I don't try to stifle it. But if I
He
see
really doesn't.
signs and things like that,
Or if somebody is attracted to me, or if I'm attracted to somebody. Because I know his type. I can tell when he's physically attracted to a woman, or intellectually, or whatever. He moves a certain way. Because we were best friends before we were lovers. So I learned what his type is, I learned what he's drawn to. And he did the same with me. So when we see danger, we go into best friend mode. Right. So I'll be like, hey, kiki. I'm not even attracted to the guy, but the guy's feeling me like, hey, I need you to chill with him. He he ain't looking at you as a homegirl.
Right.
Or he'd be like, yeah, when you was kikiing over there, you were a little too relaxed with brother man,
Right.
put a lid on it. Which is telling me, I see you're attracted to that dude. We don't want any drama. Just cut all that. Be mindful. So I don't have to not speak to the guy. I can still speak to him. But once he tells me that, now I'm guarded in the conversation. And I'm not like relaxing kiki because I'm a kiki girl. Nah, yeah, no. Be like, what's up? Okay, so, all right. Holla, I limit interaction. Because I need him to be secure at all times.
I'm gonna say this, fellas, all the fellas. If your woman say the girl wants you, 9 times out of 10,
The girl wants you.
Period. I don't care how funky how innocently she may be acting towards you. If the girl say if your woman say she wants you, bruh, take it to the bank.
And your men know too. Men know other men.
Mm-hmm. Same thing.
Men
Women.
know, yeah. Okay, so what was yours?
Got one more
What was
question.
your other question?
I need tips on how to let go of past trauma in my old relationship.
2 things. Number 1, it's gonna sound cliche-ish, but you gotta put God first. Remember we talked about a little bit today in church. That inner healing process is so good. Here's the deal though. The pastors don't always have the answers when it comes to that. No, you don't expect the pastor to tell you that. But sometimes you need therapy.
I know. I go ahead.
Sometimes you need therapy. I did not get the clarity on the things that I know now until I went to therapy.
Right.
I was gang raped May the 8th, 1994. I actually lived here in Dallas at that time. 4 men raped me right out in Pleasant Grove on the freeway, like literally right beside the freeway under an overpass. And it traumatized me in a way that it was just very difficult for me to shake it. And the hospital, I went to Parkland Hospital. They did the rape kit and they did all of that. And the counselor that came out recommended therapy. So I just went because she recommended it. Changed my whole life. So then I've gotten therapy since then at different times, counseling since then at different times to help me heal, to help me deal with my childhood trauma and those things. It would be amazing. And here's the second part. Now don't mistake trauma from abuse with trauma from distrust where you've been violated, lied to, cheated on, or, when you tie both of those together, you can't just pray that away. There has to be a strategic pattern of therapy, prayer, inner healing, connecting with the network. I told you about my son in love, that like I love Bryce, but I loved her first husband who died. Does that make sense? And so he's the only child that lived and walked around that I've ever lost. And he didn't come from my womb. She's the only one out of all my kids that physically came through my womb. And we went through the process of legally adopting only one, of going through that process, but he's now an adult. Does that make sense? But all the others, if they're my baby, they're my baby. And so when I lost, I didn't know how to. I was abused as a child. I was raped. I had a lot of stuff going on. Then I got in a marriage where I was made to feel like I wasn't good enough because my husband was attracted to young teenage girls. Like, it was just a whole lot. And so you can't just be quiet.
Right. The Bible says with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. So counseling is definitely a must. You gotta talk.
And this is where being connected to a man of God comes into play. Because from a biblical perspective, the man has a responsibility as the priest. God didn't tell the woman to heal the man. God told the man to heal the woman. So now, in order for you to help her heal, cover, protect, nourish and cherish is actually the specific words that he uses. In order for you to nurse her back to a healthy place, you can't be dismissive of her insecurities or the tenderness that that you're seeing or experiencing in this relationship as a result of the blunt trauma she sustained in the previous relationship. You got to be Christ the healer for her. And in order for you to do that, you got to have a solid relationship with Christ for yourself. Now, y'all don't have to. I'm glad she's here in our church. Y'all don't have to be in this church. I strongly suggest you get planted in a church.
Right.
And let it be a church where you believe, where you understand, where you can receive, where you connect Don't go in a place where it's all foreign to you, because it's going to be hard for you to receive what you need. But if you understand how they talk, if what they say makes sense and you're getting something out of it, that's where I want you to go, even if it's not here, so that you can become the man that God intends for you. So when she has those moments, you know how to speak to it from a spiritual perspective and with the authority of God. Most black men don't have Christ's authority because social media has desensitized them from church. The church gets a bad rap on social media.
Yeah.
I need you to plug in. It doesn't have to be here, but you plug in, it will accelerate her healing process. Don't you understand that it's a shame she's been with you since 6th or 8th grade and she still got the trauma from previous relationships?
Well, we just got back together 6 months ago. So I was in the previous relationships before.
Okay, that's fine.
What you need to do, Table, is be like, yeah, she got the grass is green on the other side. So they always come back to Table. They always come back to Table.
They all come back.
Not that she.
Listen.
She.
But serious, but counseling is the first thing. Secondly, and more importantly, what did you learn? Because if you didn't learn from it, what's happening is you're dwelling on
The past.
the past and the pain of the past.
And it's
Instead
going to damage your current relationship.
Right. Instead of saying, first of all, what did I do
Yes.
that put me in that situation? And what could I have done differently to ensure that that never happens again? And let's not go extremes. Let's say, for example, when we first got together, she let me know some things that, if you would have paid attention to those people around you, because they was able to see stuff in her that you weren't seeing. And if you would have paid attention to those individuals, maybe you wouldn't have lost 8 years of your life with an individual who was not really focused on being married to a man who wanted better. So I had to learn how not to reject counsel. I'm thinking I'm grown and on my own. And sometimes growing in your own, you're good, baby. Go ahead. Sometimes being grown in your own is the biggest hindrance and the biggest problem to your development. You understand? And so that's where a lot of my pain and my trauma came from when dealing with women. I thought I was growing in on my own. And shoot, one woman got me out there and the other ones kept me out there.
And okay, there are a couple of other things. Because I know that there was some abuse, and I don't really.
Physical abuse? There he is. I knew that come. But your physical abuse?
Oh yeah, that's done. You can get that charge and turn it to porn. But with when you've had trauma and you're explaining, we didn't mean to make this a
They're counseling.
right, but
So learning it.
okay, good. So Donnie, I'm thinking about my baby. So he is. So Tavo, how do you respond when you see her in those vulnerable moments?
I'll be asking.
He'll ask, like, what's wrong? I just don't know how to, I don't know. I don't like crying around him
Why?
Why not?
because,
Speaking Mike. Because
previously, the people I've been with just made me feel weak about it.
Okay.
Or show that stuff.
so has he made you feel weak?
Hand in the mic. Taylor, let me ask you this. Do you think she's weak if she's crying around you?
I haven't told her that.
Okay. So you really want to know what's wrong with her. You want to try to help her through it, right?
Yeah.
But I brush it off and say,
Okay. So see, you can't do that.
Let me tell you what he did with me, because I was the same way. And when I would say nothing, I'm fine, it'll be okay, he would still come and he would just put his arms around me and hold me really tight. And he would not let me go until I released that pain and that hurt. And once I cried and all of that and snotted, He's wiping snot, he's wiping tears, and he's telling me it's gonna be okay. I love you, I got you, it's gonna be okay. You will never, he said this to me so much early on in our marriage, you will never experience that pain again as long as I'm alive. And I never have.
I want to say this.
That reassurance helps accelerate the healing process in a relationship.
Right. And I want to say this to you, Ashlyn. If you close him out, what you're going to do is he's going to say, okay, I ain't going to make myself available again. If you keep closing him out.
Don't keep saying it's nothing when it's something.
Yeah. Don't keep closing him out. If he's saying, hey, what's going on? You got to tell him, because he wants that. Men are generally fixers by nature.
Right.
And so we want to know, we want to help you through it. And even if we can't help you through it, we will say something like, well, you want me to hold you? Come here, girl. And that come here, girl is the very thing that you need in that moment. But if you keep closing the door, what's going to end up happening, he ain't going to, after a while, he ain't going to come back to the door and knock and say, hey, what's up? He's going to stay out, and he's going to let you deal with it by yourself.
I have a question.
Yes. Wait, did that answer your question? Let me just give a little bit more, and I promise you we'll get back to the games. But I don't take these settings lightly, because relationships are hard. They come with a lot of challenges, and we need help. And most people don't say, hey, I need help, or I have insecurity, or I'm uncomfortable, or I'm afraid that, so we create a safe space for this stuff. And then two, Tavo, you're so young, you may not have had an older man we're 20 years in the game, got the experience to give you that guidance. Excuse me. It's going to take a while for you to break down that wall, but it's important for you, Ashlyn, to remember, number one, he didn't do it. Don't make him pay the price. Do you have my book?
No, but I was supposed to get it out of Koya car.
Go get her one right now, please.
That's the one.
I wrote a whole chapter on this. He didn't do it, so don't make him pay for what the other man did. Because here's the deal. The struggle is really real. And when our men want to help move us from that place, it's really hard. You have to constantly remind yourself, he's not the guy that did what the other guy did. He wants to be Christ the healer. Let that happen. That's the first thing. Here's the second thing. What you won't let him do in this relationship, the next thing I feel he's eager to. There are so many women who would love to have a man who's willing to just hold them in arms and let them know it's going to be okay and they're a safe place. You know what I mean? They don't have, these men are insensitive. They got slick mouth and they're sarcastic and you got to do all this. Nobody wants that, right? So you have a man who's trying, let him be there. Does that make sense? We good? Yes.
Question.
What's your question?
It wasn't a question, it was a comment.
Pass her the microphone, please.
Pass it across the room.
Well, here's an actual, you guys keep that on that end, right here.
That doesn't have batteries.
Thank you. My comment, or whatever, we might come as that question. Do you create a safe atmosphere for her? Because as a woman who has been physically abused before, I've been physically abused in that situation. Some men might think they're creating this safe place, but they're really not. And sometimes you have to feel like, do you feel, Ashlyn, that he creates a safe place for you? Do you do? Okay.
That's good.
It's just I got that wall still built from
The previous relationship. It will take time. Y'all keep coming to settings like this when we do our actual, our couples retreat. Definitely come for that. Set aside time for that, because that's, everything is relationship. Of course we have fun. Y'all know we're not gonna do it if we can have some fun in here. But we have a lot of teaching, a lot of development, a lot of unity building exercises. And more importantly, it's a safe place to really be transparent and vulnerable about the issues in your relationship without somebody judging you and without people going back to your family and talking about, all that. Any relationship with anybody in my family, everybody's in the business and everybody has something to say. So you're not free to to say, oh, we got into it, we had a real ugly argument. Oh, they been getting into it. Oh, they, and it becomes a whole thing. And so,
I done told you he wasn't no good.
right, and you could have forgiven him, but they won't. So we work hard to get past that. So I wanted to come to you. What questions or comments did y'all have?
I don't really have a question.
Comment? What issue do you believe could use a little attention in your relationship?
When you spoke about the friend thing, I think that I'm much almost in your image, right? When it comes to the social butterfly part, I mean, I have friends from college, high school, and I think that every guy is a threat to him. Every guy is a problem. He don't say it, but it's just his actions. Like, anything. Like, well, you have friends, so I'm like, yeah, but man, like I talk, you know what I mean? So how do you, like, when you said something about if he has a problem with it, you cut it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But these people he never even seen, never even heard of, never even. So what can I do because he doesn't feel like I should have any male friends, period, the end. Not at work, not at nothing. People I went to school with, he feel like I should not communicate with them, period.
There are a lot of brothers that are like that.
And you have some choices to make.
Right.
Because in a marriage or a love relationship, and whether you all are married or not, our counsel is coming from a biblical perspective, right, in an ideal situation. He has not wifed you, so you're free to be friends with whoever you want to be friends with. If you guys are married, then his feelings, his thoughts, and all those things become priority. Mm-hmm. So I need you to be mindful of that as you continue with this relationship. My thought and my stance on that is this. This is the most important relationship on earth. Right. And if there's any man or every man that he's uncomfortable with, they all got to go. Because I'm never going to willfully put him in a situation where he's uncomfortable unnecessarily. That's me. I'm an extremist. I'm super, pro-Bible. You're not super pro-Bible. No, she's not. She's a Christian. She's a woman of God, but she's not like super pro-Bible. And remember, we talked about how that type of, Vernon, I want you to understand, that type of will choke the life out of a social butterfly. Right. So now we got to go back and find out what type of woman was he with before you. Because that didn't just come from no place. It may have nothing to do with you. It's certainly not that he's implying that you're a whore or that you would cheat on him. But past experiences cause trauma. And when we take on the mindset of being Christ the healer for our men, we then become concerned with what it's going to take to help overcome. Now, there's no way she can help you or meet you halfway or get to where you want her to be if you're not honest and transparent. Because social butterflies are communicators. So you want me to make an adjustment? I need to know why. How do we get here? I need some steps. Is there any type of leniency or compromise? Can we meet halfway? Can you vet my friends and decide if you want to get rid of them? Does it have to be the baby going out with the bathwater?
Let me say this to you, because let me ask you. I'm going to ask you some questions. Do you have any women friends? You don't have any women friends?
No.
Okay. See, generally what I know about most guys who have that mindset.
You're the extrovert.
Right. Most guys who have that mindset, they ain't got no friends. They probably, as a child, you spent a lot of time by yourself, didn't you? As a child, you didn't go out and play with a bunch of the other kids often. It was not something you needed. You probably spent a lot of time at home, watching TV, probably playing video games, doing your thing, right? You may have played sports, you may have had a few people you talked with in high school, but it was just you, right? Am I wrong in saying that?
A little bit. So.
Okay. So,
No. We can't skip over it again, y'all. We didn't mean to make this, but I believe it's necessary. And so bear with me a little bit. So you said a little bit, so that means you did hang a little bit, but in your love, I think it's tied to trauma from a failed previous relationship.
Yeah.
That's just my take on it. Because if he hung out with kids and he was very social when he was younger, did you ever have a woman that you loved and trusted cheat on you? No? Have you ever had a woman that you trusted lie to you? Either, well, let me not say that. Where do you believe your distrust of women came from? Or do you believe it's just her?
I'm not gonna say her. I'm just gonna say what I've seen or been
Okay.
around others.
So it's never happened to you, but because you saw it happen to somebody else,
Was
you
it a friend, a family member?
I mean, friends, family, just somebody seen.
did your dad cheat on your mom? Or did your mom cheat on your dad?
Probably so. Probably know about who
You have siblings?
a brother, sister.
Have either one of them been the cheaters in relationships? Or cheated on?
Can't answer that question. I don't know.
You don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I've been gone for a long time, so I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, all I'm trying to do is nail down where you saw the infidelity.
He said from friends. And
Does he believe he has an issue with her having male friends? Because she said it, but he didn't say that.
Do you believe you?
Yeah,
You-
I have told her.
So you know you have an issue. You don't want her talking to her, hanging out with any
I
guy.
have told her that, but I mean,
Why is that?
I mean, just me. I don't have women friends, so I think she have male friends. Right?
So you figure you should be her only male friend.
I mean, yeah. I mean, probably go like that, but yeah.
It doesn't matter how it goes. It doesn't matter. Biblically, God never tailor makes the woman to meet the man's needs. I mean, the man to meet the woman's needs. He didn't give you as a helpmeet to her. He gave her as a helpmeet to you. So we all have to make adjustments for there to be balance in a healthy relationship. But you're very vague in your communication. And that can create stress when you are not, because that's sort of extreme to a social butterfly. A person who meets no strangers and is popular and has friends everywhere to say, change everything you've known your whole life so that I can be comfortable, and I'm never going to be uncomfortable. I'm never going to be comfortable if you don't. If you don't have a woman who thinks like I think. I am a social butterfly, but the only friend I need and must have in my life is my husband and my daughter.
I think what it is, and just listening to him.
Hold on, not just because she's my daughter, but from a best friend perspective. Because I have two daughters in this room, but this one is my best friend. So these are my two best friends. Now I got other best friends that are females. I don't have any male best friends. I'm sorry anymore, but I had several when I met him.
Yeah, as I was saying, I
They've been
think
good.
what it is with him is what he said. He's seen other people. He's probably had multiple conversations with other individuals who maybe guys he hung with, some of his male friends and stuff like that. That has influenced his opinion on the subject. The other thing is too, your family is very friendly. Even though you guys can be.
Our family friends.
Yes. Your family is
The only people that are friendly in my family is Nikki and me and Lynette.
No.
Who else?
No.
My family is very friendly.
Your family.
Outside that he's met.
Yes.
Who?
Listen to
My
me.
mama can, every
Listen.
place I go, my mom has.
All of y'all, you got that from Boom. All of y'all got that from Boom. Boom is very much a social butterfly. I've seen her in private. I've seen her in public. And she is very much, it's ingrained.
My mama was a social butterfly.
Right, and
My
you
sisters are not.
Your sisters are.
They are.
They are very much so. And let me help you identify.
But not to me. Okay, so
They feed the homeless people around their neighborhood, and all
they don't. Mommy did that, bro.
So do they. I've seen them do it. Anytime they have a big barbecues and cookouts and stuff, I've seen them feed.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Okay, all right.
Okay.
It's true.
So they're very, very social. I think
Okay, social. You said friendly. That's what threw me off. They are social.
they are friendly too.
They're friendly when they're social, but they're
They're-
integrity character, whatever else.
They're careful about their friendliness, but they're very friendly.
Let's continue. I'm
But-
sorry. That was my trauma, Vernon. Just so you know, that was my trauma speaking.
But
So continue to
Vernon,
speak. Address the
I'll say
question.
this. I'll say this as a man, because you have an individual that is very outgoing and very caring individual, very public individual.
She's friendly.
And she's very friendly, okay? And I don't want you to take on other people's fears, which sounds like what you have done. You have taken on other people's fears
You're gonna choke the
made-
life out of
and
her.
made them your own. She could be your greatest asset.
Because friendly people and social butterflies attract everything, and I'm not being braggadocious, but I will say everything major that we have accomplished in all of our major connections
Because she's been
came
social.
through me and not through him.
So-
Because he's an extreme introvert, I'm the extrovert.
She-
So
she
I
has-
develop the relationships,
Right.
he helps me maintain them.
Right.
She
So
needs you to help maintain
maintain those
the balance. But if you're killing it, you're also killing her.
And so that's what has happened. That's what I'm hearing from you. You have allowed your friends.
Especially if you say it never happened to you.
Yeah.
Usually a man says that, oh, he was with some woman, he loved her, she lied to him, she broke his heart, and that's where it came from. But if it's never happened to you, bro, you living your whole life in fear. Fear of losing something that's not in jeopardy of being lost until you keep pushing it away.
And I can say that about Lynette. She and Lynn are alike in this way.
We're like in a lot of ways, actually.
Once they're loyal to you, bro, they're loyal to you. They ain't friendly. They ain't friendly to let you go. Now, if you decide to walk away, they'll let you walk away too.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep nobody that don't want to be killed.
And you don't have to worry about that. That's not cheating. That's not something you have to worry about that with Lynette. Not at all. So,
However, if you leave the door open and her needs are not being met,
right,
she will gravitate towards an individual who is able to meet those needs. And that's where it gets tricky.
That's
So
anyone to know.
it's important. No, I'm dealing specifically with her personality type. I'm dealing specifically with my niece sitting right there. I'm specifically saying to you, she's not the type that'll go looking.
No.
Oh, it's raggedy in this relationship. Let me see who my next dude gonna be. That is not what will happen. But if it's constant and some peaceful dude with a calm spirit comes along who gets it, she'll find herself gravitating towards that and not able to tell you that this person even exists because you're gonna flip out. And the next thing you know, there's an openness to an emotional affair to get a need met that could have been avoided if she would have just been free to be transparent with how she was feeling with you. So you don't create a safe place for her to be social. It would kill me if he didn't want me around any men. I traveled the world, not just our country.
First of all, because of what we do.
I have friends everywhere.
Because of what we do, it's unfair to her. It would be unfair to her for me to stop her from connecting with you. Now, because the first reason number one was I benefited greatly from her connections.
And you can too.
And so can you.
You gotta let it happen.
You understand what I'm saying?
And
That's
trust
the first
God.
thing. That's the first thing. The second thing is she's a minister of the gospel. She's got to be free to do what it is that God has called her to do. I don't know if she's ready to walk that part out.
I'm about to say, preach, Daddy.
She's certainly called to it.
She's certainly called to it because of her openness. She's certainly called to it. But I'll say this, she's definitely a treasure, and she will, listen to me, man, she'll be a treasure to you.
And a great benefactor.
And a great asset to you. And I look at my life, man, I'm gonna just tell you right now, if it wasn't for her social, she's over the years, she says she's not gracefully, so she doesn't have social grace. She does. Because if it wasn't for the fact, everything that's going on in my life right now, I can honestly say, would not be taking place right now if she was not a social butterfly. Everything. All of her friends, all of the connections that we have, she started.
All my friends.
I can only name one person that we've connected to that I brought into this relationship.
Everybody else can. And see, Vernon, I don't make friends
outside of my family.
Don't think this sounds arrogant, but like I told you, the Lord blessed us with over $300,000 last year to come through our hands, right? I am the brokest in all my friends. All my friends have way more money coming through than my real friends. I have one new friend, I don't know how much bread they make, but they got bread. They know how to touch money. They know how to draw money. They know how to move money and to get money facilitated. They know how to take nothing and make something. I came from Bonton Projects right over there in South Dallas. Like, here's the deal. If he would have cut me out, some of those connections were men. If he would have stopped me from interacting, I wouldn't be able to broker the deals or write the grants or do the things that I've done that have put us in a position. Our connection initially for the home that we bought came from a guy. Mm-hmm. I want you to get this. It's so that Benz that's sitting out there, the white one is the last one that he bought for me. It was a guy.
Both times.
Our connection.
She had already talked to him. She had talked to him
Our
before,
connection
made
was the
friends
guy.
with him.
My daughter and I met the guy. Guess what? He was the plug for the Benz. I told him about it, said I wanted, he went and looked at the car and he made the rest happen. How can we, it's so much y'all don't have now because she's not free to go get it. She's more like me than anybody else in our family as far as how I'm wired, how I process, how I interact. She's more like me spiritually and in a love relationship. She's more like me when it comes to business and when it comes to interacting with people.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if
It
you want
would
to
benefit you a lot.
if you want to start a business next week, tell her about it.
She will do the work.
She'll make it possible.
Man, look, I'll tell you this and then we'll move on. He was talking to me about he wanted to do it because I said, babe, what's your dream?
Yeah,
He's like, I want to have my own school of performing arts where I teach people how to play music. He told me this on a Tuesday.
I'm thinking this was a general conversation. On Tuesday, we're having this conversation. Friday, she's coming to be with a folder full of contracts that I have to sign. Rent.
I rented a building. I purchased all the instruments. I had the contractors hired to come and do the build out. I created contracts. I ran a commercial, and I got clients. So I had clients already lined up for that school. All I needed was his signature on everything. Because the moment he told me this is what he wanted, I know how to do all of that. I immediately went and did it. You're robbing yourself. When you see us at AT&T, I don't get a check from the stadium and he doesn't. We're the directors. Pick me, this monkey right here, the boss. You're married to a boss, but she's not free to be a boss.
She negotiates everything.
And tell him how did you get that connection to AT&T?
She did.
Yeah.
What's up?
Because somebody else gave us a number that was basically a runaround.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to her about it. She's like, oh, I've got the lady's number right now. Just call her. And she gave us the backdrop information on what we were walking into. So her conversation coached and prepped us for what we were about to do. I took that foundation that God used her to lay and just ran and expanded it. I know you didn't expect me to go as far as I went with it. Oh, you did?
I did.
But my point is, she was the plug. So if she put us in connection, he only makes $100,000 a year. So if almost $400,000 came through our hand, where do you think the rest of that money came through? We're able to bless 194 people with paying them tax-free donation money so they don't have to worry. So if they're on welfare, food stamp, disability, unemployment, and they're getting that, they got supplemental income legally. I don't have to hide it. That's the equivalent to what another person makes. Some of them make, if you're getting, think about this, if you're only getting $11 an hour, that's the equivalent of a person that's getting $13.55 an hour on their job after they take out taxes and all that stuff. If you're getting $15 an hour, that's the equivalent of somebody getting like 18 or 19 bucks an hour after they take out tax. Those are decent money. We don't keep the money for ourselves. We funnel that money right back through to the people.
And this church only keeps about 10% of that.
Right, only about 10% of that money.
Everything goes back to the people.
Everything else goes back to the people. Most preachers are not giving away $250,000 a year, but these two monkeys can. God put us in a position to do it. Your wife is one of the reasons that we were able. The primary reason.
His wife?
I'm sorry.
She was a pivotal.
Right.
You hear me, Vernon?
And I tell everybody.
Pivotal reason why that was.
Right.
Man, listen to me, man. Don't let your fear muzzle your ox.
Your blessing. And let me go one step further, and then I promise we're going to move on. My niece is 33 years old. You Negro number 2 I've seen in 33 years.
Mm-hmm.
You Negro number 3. I didn't see Jada's dad.
Mm-mm.
You Negro number 2 that I saw. I saw the last guy.
Yeah.
And I saw you.
She's very selective about who
She doesn't bring all these people around, and her booty's not the community booty. She's not just throwing that thing in a circle. Like, she got you. She wants you.
And
don't let fear what they got going on cause you to miss your play. You told me she's a real good woman.
And I'm going to say this to you, too. For her to bring you in front of us for any reason means she thinks a lot of you.
I mean
he's talking marriage.
It doesn't have to.
Well, he told me something.
It means she thinks a lot about you, Vernon. She thinks a lot of you. So for her to bring you here with us, it's a huge statement of what she thinks about you.
I know she cares about him because otherwise he wouldn't be here.
He wouldn't be here.
And I'm just going to leave that part right there. So, any questions to Zins?
I'm sure they have a question.
They have to.
How much wood? I didn't really have a question.
None, because woodchucks don't chuck wood.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Girl, do y'all have any feedback?
No.
I really can't beat y'all up because they've been sitting under our teaching for so long. So I'm not teaching them anything they don't already know. But there's got to be an issue in your relationship that you believe could use some attention. What would that be? Transparency and vulnerability. The reason we put ourselves out there is so y'all are not afraid. Because I don't want anybody to feel like everybody's on the chopping block. No, if I'm going to pull my underwear down, you're going to see my stretch marks. I need to see yours too. You might be going down and telling people, oh, she got 2 pimples and 1 stretch mark on the left side of her belly. You might be the one that'll rat me out. I feel like, no, just kidding. I know you waiting.
I'm a snitch. She got it.
I'm like, no, Mom, I would never. Yeah, you would. I'm looking upside your head. You would. No, just kidding. All right. She just gave it to you. Seriously.
I like to talk.
Everybody does. Nobody here wants to put their stuff out in front of everybody.
Right.
We're doing it on purpose.
I think that we had issues with giving each other the proper level of affection and space. So he wasn't as affectionate as I would have liked him to be, but he also requires having space and recalibration time and decompression time. And I can be a whole lot. So we had to kind of just come together and find a common balance because it was reading to me as rejection and lack of attraction and all these other things that I had going on in my mind, and I had to really just talk to him and sometimes revisit it and talk to him again and, about trying to basically get what I have going on under control
and not be so much all the time, because I know I'm aggravating. I know I'm annoying. I realize that. I'm fully aware of what I am. But also, he's just had to have reminders and not remember, you're married now. It's not a relationship where we can just kind of walk away or get away or have that time from each other. You can have it, you just gotta let me know. But at the same time, that's not something that you can just have all the time, kind of thing.
Let me say this to you. I don't want you guys to put unnecessary pressure on your marriage. Y'all got time. You're early in this. And you're gonna learn those things to the point that you're gonna be able to quickly identify when he needs that moment. Because I can identify when Lynn needs that moment.
He's like me in the relationship.
Right.
And you're like him. He needs that affection. He needs that physical touch.
And attention.
He needs the attention.
And so
I kind of don't have to have it as much.
she don't. Yeah. So it's something that happens over time. Because early on in our relationship, it was the same way. It was like if I don't, especially with my job. Y'all know how my job is, Lena.
When he was Bryce
during the job,
and I was feeling rejected.
Right. And especially with my job, she couldn't stand the amount of time that I was spending on my job, even though the job was providing the lifestyle.
I was blowing the money. Just so we're clear, I was blowing it as fast as he could bring it in.
Okay.
Faster sometimes than I could bring it in.
Oh yeah, I was terrible.
And I was just working, and it took a stranger. That is the other reason why, Vernon, you don't want to stifle her social butterfly nature. It took a stranger to sit her down and say, bruh, what the heck are you doing? I see the businesses that this man is helping you to establish. I see all of this stuff, you taking all of these vacations and this, that, and the other.
Because he worked I like nice hotels when I'm on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a cheap Roach Motel because but I like a nice. So he was like, I see you here all the time, and you are always in a luxury suite and whatever else. So I know you're not working a regular job. He's paying for these trips with you and your girls and whatever else. Like, did you ever think about he's focused on making sure you're happy, you have what you want, but you can't have your cake and eat it too? Like, you're a little ungrateful, man. But you know what? He was right. So I had to repent, and I had to apologize, and I had to make some adjustments.
And she has gradually, since that time over the years, she had made some adjustments. This year was the first year that she didn't just bounce, because usually right about
Baby,
September,
this sister gets in the winter. I work hard, I play hard.
Disappear. I don't see her.
I used to vacation every month. Gone.
Up until from September till about March. Gone. Because that's our business
sex,
time.
Leave. And he was just like,
yeah.
He was like, bro, you can't just keep using me for my penis. Like, I need more.
And so, but I had to learn, because before the pandemic, I was driving to and from work. And what I would do is I would come home after talking to these old people all day, listen to their complaints, go to my room and lock up and don't come out. And so I had to learn balance. And I had to come back and engage with her and say, yo, okay, I get with it. But at first, it was I'll never forget that one. That was a knockout. You just come in and you lock up and you don't even say, hey, bro, what's up, man? Nothing. You just disappear and you're blanking and blank. I'm like, what do you expect me to do? I talk on the phone all day. When I come home, I don't want to talk. I don't want to deal with nobody. I just want to get my mind right. I just want to come back together. I just want to get peace. That's all I want, is some darn peace. And I've been dealing with these old folks and they complaining behind stuff all day long, 14 to 16 hours a day. And all I want to do is come home and get some peace. And when I get home to get peace, what do you want to do? And so
That fight was old gold
it
me.
was ugly. And she's like, you know what? She ran in the room. I said, you can slam those, I can slam those too. I ran outside. Boom! And so I go, and usually when I'm upset, I go
You'll
for
take a walk.
I go for long walks. It'll be about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. That's me and God talking. And so that first hour is me talking. God, you better get up. You better get your girl. You better get her. She got on my last nerve. I'm tired of her. So, and so the second hour on the way back is God talking to me and said, bro, she's right. You gotta make some time. You gotta give her some balance. You can't go away and lock up.
Right.
She needs you just as much as you need that peace, so you gotta make some time. So when I got back, I said, look, I want to apologize for yelling at you and carrying on, because that's
Well, you didn't really yell. What the tone that y'all just heard, that's him yelling. I've been with a dude roar. Sound like that car when Donnie pulled up. Roar. Yes. I've been with a lion that roar. But Bryce, I know you didn't want to share it publicly, but the reason why we do it like this is because y'all ain't the only ones that went through that. Y'all may have been the only ones that mentioned it. It's so many couples that are afraid to ask for help, or they're ashamed because if it looks good and people say they got the ideal, if your relationship goes, you don't want people to know it's flawed. No, we always put it out there. It's flawed. That was the first 2 years of my marriage.
She didn't want nobody to know it was flawed. You better not. I remember when
I was like, Bryce, you better not tell a soul.
I remember when we would get married counseling, and we go up in the pastor's
I had
office.
a coaching
And she's
strategy
coaching
before we went to counseling.
When we go up in this
You
office,
better not tell them
better
about
not
this,
tell them about this.
and
You
this.
better not tell them about this.
And if he asks you this, you
and
gonna
if you
say
say this, ooh, you gonna hear when we get out of this office. You understand me? Do you hear the words that are
coming out of my mouth?
If you say anything negative, ooh, wait till we get out of this office.
He was honest and open, and I wasn't.
First,
So,
I'm telling
it was
you,
bondage.
first thing,
I was
we'll
embarrassed.
sit down. The counseling didn't even get started. The pastor be like, so Lynn, let's talk about your behavior with this, and that happened. It'd be everything that Lynn had just said. I better not tell her about before we get in the office. And so she be looking at me like,
you called him.
I'm like,
You told him. I told you.
I say, I ain't called nothing.
He was prophetic. Like the lady in church today, when God was just showing me stuff, Ashley, he was just like that. God was showing him, putting him all in my business. But the reason why we do this and we ask these questions is because all of us need help. Every relationship has challenges. And if we don't have a safe place where we can address those insecurities or those fears or whatever, then we just keep going through these cycles. Anyway, I'm ready to play a game. So, Bryce, y'all want to do marshmallow toss?
We want to jump rope.
You don't want to jump rope. That's kind of.
Huh?
The jump rope.
It's a unity
Can we jump rope?
You waited for Donnie to get here just to play the jump rope game?
Yeah, she was sitting there looking at that jump rope.
Donnie, she got a lot of confidence in you. She feel like you can do it. Oh my God! You're supposed to be like, no, baby, I can't do it. You talking about let's do
I
it.
just gotta work today. I gotta work hard. I'm tired. I'm tired, boss.
He said he still got energy. All right, so then we'll do the marshmallow toss game. And then that'll be it because it's really late. Okay, so it's called Jump for Joy. Y'all listening? And if it goes left, y'all blame Alina.
She just need to test her experiment and then she gonna be content.
Yes, absolutely.
Carlos and I are horrible at this game. The two